G'day. This week's all about free camping compared to pay for camping. Now I'm actually staying at a pay for camping only because there is no free camping in this area. This is pretty much an exclusive, one of Australia's top tourist destinations, and because of that they've got a prime location, they set it up, and you get all the comforts of pay for camping. But there's disadvantages of pay for and there's disadvantages of free camping. So in this video I'll talk about all of the pros and cons of. Behind me I think is a great example of a free campground. Now the local people, or the local golf club, I'm not quite sure, but they've cordoned off an area that we can all park in. They've got certain rules. You have to be self-reliant, you have to have all your own gear, your own toilet, your own shower, etc. But basically the ground's totally flat. All right, there's no amenities at all, but they did say to be self-sufficient. But it's got everything. I really think it's fantastic. It's close to town, it's close to the fuel stop, it's close to a lot of things that sort of campers need. So I'm going to run through some of the advantages of a free camp and disadvantages. Advantages of a paid camp and disadvantages. But at the end of the day, it really depends on your budget, depends on what you're trying to achieve. A classic example of this, you only got to look up Wiki Camps and see the comments about this place or some of the free camps. I haven't seen it on this one, but I've definitely seen it a few other times. Some people say, oh, stayed at the free camp, didn't think much of the view. I don't understand where they missed the bit about being free. Too close to the road, you can hear the traffic. No facilities, but well, you're meant to be self-sufficient anyway. Anywho, I'm not going to get into the politics of that, but for me it's great. I've just come from over where I was paying a certain amount every night, and now it's absolutely free and no cost to me. They do encourage you, which is fair enough, they do encourage you to pop in town and buy from the local people, which is more than fair. Straight up, let's talk about the great things about free camping. Now, one of the obvious things is it doesn't cost you any money. That is fantastic. Now, you don't always have to get a free camp. The way I've travelled is I have free camps, I have low-cost camps, and when I think it's appropriate, I'll also do the pay-for camps. I've even paid, well, I won't give you the figure, but I paid a lot of money once because I really desperately want to stay at that place for 2 nights. Now back to the free camping. One of the great things is because you're not paying any money and you're not actually restricted by any sort of rules, then you can arrive and leave anytime you want. So rather than you've got to be in at 10 o'clock, then or sometimes can't get in till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is so annoying at pay for. The free camps, you arrive whenever you want, leave whenever you want, obviously respecting the other campers in the site. So if you're a person who just likes to, just wing it, just enjoy it, no restrictions, free camps would be ideal. The other thing is there's no restriction on the size of the van you take. So you could take a very large bus with a car behind it, or a fifth wheeler. All of those options are totally open to you, because as long as you can actually get in on the campsite, then you can stay. So that's a bonus. What else have we got with free camping? Free camping a lot of the time will probably give you the best views and the best places out by the rivers and the creeks. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, that's great. They're a completely different sort of person who camps free as a person who goes to all the organised camps, and then they move from an organised camp A, organised camp B, they'll stay for a couple of days, move on. So yeah, the free camps, I really discovered that. They're definitely a different breed of person. Not dissing either parties, but they are very, very different. Because the site's not designated to your particular van, it means you can kind of manoeuvre into what you consider to be the best spot, and you can get yourself the best view on the whole campsite, depending on time and availability. But it's free, so it's very, it's always moving. Free camp's always moving. People suddenly move out and then, oh wow, I can't believe it, look at the spot we've got, fantastic. So yeah, that's really good. You can go and find a spot that's completely level or that needs a slight levelling, that's fine. You can suit yourself up that way. Just to let you know on costing wise, so if you stayed at a pay for campsite, which is typically most places around Australia for a couple, it's probably about $45 a night for power. It can go more. And the other time, if it's not 45, it's probably going to be around about $65 a night. Now that's excluding children, dogs and all that sorts of bits and bobs, so keep that in mind. If it was $45 a night, you stay for 52 weeks, you'd end up paying about $16,000 for the year in accommodation. If you were paying $65 and above, you'd be paying over $20,000 a year for accommodation. Certainly a lot cheaper than living at home in a house. Now we've covered some of the great things about free camps. There are a few drawbacks, so let's discuss some of those. First of all, because you can't book a free camp, you turn up and hopefully there'll be a space there for you, so that can be a bit of a disadvantage. You may have to deal with annoying neighbours. There's someone who decides to bring all their friends with them, have a few drinks, and then they decide to play the music all night, which can be a bit annoying. Now, yeah, sure, you can go over and ask them, or a group if you can go over and ask them, but you don't really need the confrontation, so just be aware that may happen. Same with the alcohol. If they want to drink all night and party and talk and laugh and all that, that might be a bit disturbing. Some people decide to run their generators all day and all night. Now, that can be very annoying to a whole lot of people concerned. If it's a medical reason, then I suggest, and you're going to go to free camps, I suggest that you put yourself as far away from everybody as you can and make up a sheet that sits on the door of the caravan on the outside, so that people walk up to about to bang on the door and it says reason for generator running is medical reason. And some people could say, well look, if that's the problem, go and stay at a pay for camp, but let's be fair, we all like a bit of a free camp from time to time because they might have the better views and all sorts of things like that, and you might be wanting to save some money. So don't forget, people aren't always running their generators just to annoy you. As the general rule is, if you come to a campsite, you leave it the way it was, completely clean. So take your rubbish with you, don't make a mess, don't dig big holes in the ground and all that sort of stuff. Leave it as you found it. Sometimes councils will come down and clean it up, but that's not their responsibility. It's really your responsibility. Each camper, go in, do what you're going to do, enjoy it, leave, all nice and tidy. Beware the free camper when it says camp out the front or out the back of a pub for free. Now, I'm not dissing these guys. I think it's a great idea, and I think occasionally it's not a bad idea to go and enjoy yourself anyway. You're probably going to go out for dinner, and if you're going to get free camping as well, that's pretty good. But if you're staying at a free camp at a pub just because it's free, beware. If you think about it, say you're going as a couple, your average meal or your cheapy meal is probably $28 to $30. Well, there's $60 you spent before you've even started the night, and probably have a beer or two and a wine or two. So it won't take much to have spent $100 for your free camp. Just be aware of that. Another disadvantage is you may feel vulnerable coming to a free camp because you might be the only person here, or there might be wild animals that you can hear at night time and kind of spooks you a little bit. Or if you feel some locals or just someone arrives and you find they're a bit menacing, you might feel a bit delicate. So that's a disadvantage. The other thing is, if there's a disaster or there's an emergency, quite often the free camps are a bit of a distance out of town. So to get that assistance, like police, ambulance, emergency services, that might be a bit tricky and it might take them a bit longer to get there. Whereas in a pay-for camp, they're usually very, very close. The place I stayed at last night, they were literally probably 200 metres from the campsite. So just watch out for that. I'm not sure if you remember, but on one of my adventures, I was out in the middle of Whoop Whoop, and there was a bushfire. And there's bushfire in front of me, beside me and behind me. And I didn't know how close it was. I wasn't able to get any internet reception or any phone reception. So I was left in a bit of a predicament. Even to leave the area, I didn't know which way I should be driving. So just be aware of that. Not a lot you can do about it, but it was a free camp, and yeah, just be aware. Now, internet connection, ongoing problem, or phone reception. So sometimes you need to phone loved ones or phone work or contact people quite urgently. If you've got no reception, then that's not a good thing. Now, out in the middle of the scrub or in some of the free camps, your reception might be pretty poor. Whereas in the pay-for camps, they're usually in the town, and quite often on the pay-for camps, they'll actually throw in free internet for you as well. So if that's important, and again, I think I mentioned last week, the week before, if you get to a free camp or a pay-for camp, walk around the camp, run your speed test and see where the best of all the area is for reception. Might not necessarily be where you're going to park the caravan, but it might help you a lot, because you think, oh, especially again if you've got teenage kids, oh, I've got no reception, I can't get, whatever. When you decide to go to a free camp, make certain you've got plenty of water in the caravan and your toilet canister's empty or near empty, and you're right ready to go. Now, I tend to travel with fairly full water tanks anyway, because it keeps the caravan a lot more stable on the corners and the hill, all that sort of stuff, so I'm usually okay for water. And yeah, it's just a matter of experience to make certain that those canisters, or the canister for your toilet, is empty, because you don't want to get out in the middle of Zot and find there's no toilets, there's nothing, and your toilet system's almost overflowing. Not pleasant. Let's talk about the good, the bad and the ugly of pay-for caravan parks. Now, it's not all beer and skittles, so the great thing about pay-for caravan parks is you get free internet, although I did notice at the place I just stayed there was a maximum of 5 gig a day, so that's probably a couple of movies, or if you're a bit of a hard user on the internet, you might not get that much out of 5 gig. The other thing is, with the pay-for caravan parks, this is a disadvantage, is they'll give you, all free internet, but don't forget, you might have 100 people there that you're sharing all of that free internet with, so your internet speed is going to drop down, your connection's not going to be as good as it should be. So yeah, that's a great thing. You've got free hot showers, which is just great. You can have it in the morning, have it in the afternoon, wash your hair and do all those great things. So you've got hot showers, flushing toilets, you've got security. Invariably, pay-for caravan parks will have the boom gate. Strangely enough, this is even more secure, the place I've just left. They had the boom gate to get in, you had to put in your magic number, and to get out, you had to put your magic number. So you've got security there. Quite often they've got a quick link to police and all the emergency services, so that's handy as well. And what else? Oh, often they've got a camp kitchen. The one I just came from had a really good camp kitchen, had an area where the kids could watch their TV. There's some Game Boys or PlayStations or whatever they're set up, and a handful of fridges. Yeah, big comfy area in a pay-for caravan park. This is my neighbour's cloth, and as you can see, it doesn't really probably look that bad, but believe me, if you're walking with bare feet or something like that, you'll definitely notice these little rocks and stones. And you can resolve this problem of the stones and all the shrapnel, etc. on the cloth by either using a rake, which I used yesterday to help someone out, or a broom, or if you want to go high tech, and you probably already got it, great for fires as well, is a blower. Now, it's very noisy, but it's just so thorough and so quick. I'll show you. Done. I just wanted to show you that map to give you a real life example of the free camps versus a pay for camp. Now recently I've been staying at Port Campbell, staying at a pay for camp. There I was 10 minutes away for all of the tourist things that I wanted to film. So I could go up, film it, and then if I forgot something, I'll just duck back up the street. Wouldn't take me long. Now I'm down at Cobden Free Caravan Park, free. I'm 45 minutes away from it, and some distance, so there's going to be costing fuel, costing my inconvenience, costing my frustration that, I want to go back and film it. So I know you're not out filming, but just so you can appreciate that it's not always necessarily the free is best. Anywho, hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Well, there we have it, the video of comparing free campsites to pay for campsites. I didn't bother with the low cost. I consider low cost campsites and free campsites pretty similar. Now I apologise this week if the video is all over the show and it's a little bit topsy-turvy. Unfortunately, a very dear uncle of mine died, and that's Uncle Cliff. So he was very dear to me in my life, and it's been a bit of a burden. Now if you found the video helpful, useful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed before, what can I say? And if you think the video is worth sharing, that too would be great. So until next time, this is Paul Will Drive, signing off.